Welcome into Saints Now. I am Will Scott coming to you guys after another loss, this time in Carolina to the Panthers, 22-14. Really a game, and I don't want to say this early in the season they couldn't afford to lose this game, but this is a really tough L for a Saints team that came in as the favorites to win against a Panthers team that was winless coming into this one. And Jameis Winston, again, did not look really 100% healthy. 2 interceptions, a touchdown for Jameis. Baker Mayfield threw for 170 yards, did not even complete half of his passes. 1 touchdown for Baker. McCaffrey ran all over the Saints, man. 108 yards, 25 carries. Chris Olave, 9 receptions, 147 yards. Definitely the best game he's played in a Saints jersey so far this season. But still, when you look at this loss, the offense was just disappointing once again. And this, of course, comes after they just scored 10 points against Tampa Bay. And then you go to Carolina to face a Panthers team that really is not very good. And you lose to them 22-14, hand the Panthers their first win of the season as you fall to 1-2. If you're pissed off with the Saints, we are too. So go down and subscribe to the channel. Certainly a disappointing start here through 3 games. I mean, they're a miracle comeback away from being 0-3, right, if they didn't come back and win that game against the Falcons. So the Saints have to be better, really in all areas, especially on offense. But do want to give a shout-out here to Justin Williams for recently subscribing to the channel. Look, guys, if you subscribe, you comment, you like vids, all that, you're going to have a good chance to get a shout-out on one of these shows. So go down, subscribe to the channel. It's the best way to stay in the loop with Saints news. And we bring you guys post-game videos after every single game. First takeaway is that the injury bug does appear to be back for this team. And I'm not just talking about Jameis Winston, but there's certainly a lot of injuries to monitor here. Here are those injuries. Andres Pete was concussed. Jarvis Landry has an ankle issue. Michael Thomas, a toe issue. And then Traquan Smith also in concussion protocol after this game today. Not to mention Jameis Winston with his 8 different injuries. I can't even keep track. What's your one-word reaction to the loss against the Panthers? Go down in the comments section. Let me know. What is your one-word reaction to this loss against the Panthers, 22-14 in Carolina? I think you got to get Andy Dalton out there. And I'm not saying bench Jameis, right? Let me just make that very clear. But Jameis, you got to get him healthy, man. The last 2 weeks, he's not been healthy, and the Saints' offense has not been able to do much. Yards-wise, yeah, he looked that number was good, 352 yards. But 2 touchdowns, an interception for Jameis, 25-41. I'm not admittedly, I think producer Trey is actually a bigger Andy Dalton fan than I am. I don't really think Andy Dalton's that good, but still, I think it would benefit Jameis a lot if you were to get him healthy, by resting him a game, which you could have done today, but you didn't. Trace, what's your thought on that, man?
I mean, no matter what they do quarterback-wise, they got to sharpen up, man. It's getting out of hand. It's getting ridiculous. I'm tired of seeing the offense make stupid penalties. I'm tired of seeing the offense, move the ball, just not get to the 30 and get to the 30 or get to the 40, get to the 20 inside the red zone, fumble it away or lose the ball or make a turnover or whatever. I'm so frustrated. I'm over it. I think that if you ask me, Andy Dalton obviously has a lot of value as the backup quarterback, and you paid him all this money you paid him $6 million or up to $6 million for a 1-year contract for a reason. Why would you not use a quality backup quarterback when you have him on your roster, when you quite literally have a quarterback who is dealing with an entire broken body? Like you said, he has basically
I have mixed feelings about this.
Back injuries, it's ankle or it's foot stuff. It's like hamstring. It's like every day there's something new. It's like, okay, like I love Jameis. I love Jameis Winston. He's a dog. He is one of the funniest. He is one of the my favorite football players to watch. I'm not saying he's one of the best. He is fun. I love him. But, dude, you got to take care of the team. You got to take care of business, and you can't lose games like this. It's absolutely ridiculous, and I don't even have the words. It's embarrassing more than anything.
I'm with you. I think Jameis has to get healthy. But that being said, I really don't have that much confidence in Andy Dalton. I wish I had more confidence than I do. I honestly wish they were playing the Seahawks next week instead of 2 weeks from now, because that'd be a really good opportunity to rest Jameis. You play the Vikings next week.
Yeah.
You need your best quarterback out there.
It's early in London. Like, that's the thing. Is like we have a very big game coming up. There's still a lot going on. Like, I don't understand why Dennis Allen wouldn't, take a week off and let him get healthy. Like, I'm sorry, Andy Dalton could have beat the Panthers today. if you ask me, Andy Dalton could have beat the Panthers. Jameis Winston very clearly couldn't. There's a stat that I'm going to pull up here in a little bit that's ridiculous to me, but the fact that the Saints cannot get anything going in the first half alone is absolutely horrendous. Get Andy Dalton in.
Guys, I want you to tell me, what's your panic level right now at the Saints? This was a football team that came in with maybe even Super Bowl aspirations. I mean, this was a team that was expected to be competing for a title in the division and in the NFC. What's your panic level right now? Because right now this football team is 1-2 with a rookie head coach. Well, at least a rookie head coach in his first year here. He's coached before, obviously. But scale it 1 to 100. Down in the comment section, go down. Let me know what's your panic level. Just doesn't feel like the Saints can put together 4 good quarters. I mean, it's just like my golf game. I can never put it all together for an entire round. The Saints right now cannot put it all together for 4 quarters. We've seen some talented quarters. We've seen some good quarters from this football team. We've seen the talent. We've seen the potential with this football team. But, unfortunately, they cannot seem to put together any consistency, and that has been a massive problem. The Saints offense has only scored 1 touchdown in the first half all season long.
I was literally looking back on the box scores of every game that we played. It's 3 weeks, obviously. It's 3 weeks.
Yeah.
But they have scored 1 touchdown and 1 field goal. There have been less than 14 points in the first half of 3 games. I don't understand. I don't have the words. I don't get it. Like, what is so difficult? How is it so hard to punch it in those last 5 yards, punch it in those last 20, get the points on the field goal? Stop making stupid turnovers. Stop making dumb excuses. Making dumb mistakes. Like, I get it. Things happen. It's early in the season, and I don't want to sit here and say, let's panic and say, oh my gosh, they're not going to make the playoffs 100%. But what I will say is if they don't, figure some stuff out, and if they don't, get it fixed soon, the Saints are at risk of not making the playoffs. And this is a team that, at the beginning of the season, I don't think you could sit here and make an 100% argument that they were the definite best team in the NFC South before Week 1 started. But you could sit here and say they were a definite playoff team in the NFC. They were a wild card team at least. But honestly, if you ask me, they're playing like one of the worst teams in the NFC right now, just in terms of they only have had really 1 great quarter of football this entire season so far. And I'm over it, man.
It's frustrating. It's really frustrating. If you're right, if we don't get this figured out, Saints might not make the playoffs. Guys, let me know who's your Week 2 least valuable player. LVP is what we're going to call him. Who is the least valuable player in Week 2 for the Saints? I'm curious to hear your thoughts down in the comment section. Do want to tell you about this great deal we're giving you through BetUS. If you go to chatsports.com/bet and use promo code chat125, you're going to get a 125% deposit bonus. So that means if you put $100 in, you'll get 125 additional cash to bet with. Great deal. Go and take advantage. Chatsports.com/bet. Promo code chat125. Let's get into our next takeaway here. Jameis Winston is not playing like his old self. We have not seen that from Jameis, and he, of course, is coming off of the knee injury. He didn't really participate much in the offseason. Here's what he did last season in 2021. So he was looking very sharp until that ACL tear, 14 tutties, 3 interceptions, over 1,100 yards. But this season, he just has not been that effective. A lot of turnovers. He's going back to the Jameis Winston we saw when he was in Tampa Bay with the 30-for-30 season, maybe even worse than that. I think Dennis Allen might be the most to blame with this. DA, I have confidence that DA is going to get this thing turned around. However, through 3 games, the offense looks stagnant. I miss Sean Payton. I'm going to admit, I really do miss Sean Payton. Catherine Terrell said this. DA says he's not looking to make a quarterback change. Said everyone has to play better. And I agree. There's not any need. There's no need to bench Jameis right now. But maybe not start him next game to get him healthy. That would be the question that I would have for DA. I think the Saints beat themselves. Maybe more than any opponent that they have played this season. The Saints, once again, just have so many costly mistakes. They beat themselves. They were the better team. They should have beaten the Carolina Panthers handily. Instead, they lose on the road in Carolina because of the offense. The offense has been terrible. The offense has not been impressive. You have all this talent on that side of the ball, and you're losing football games without any offensive production. You've scored 24 combined points in the last 2 games. Now, one positive was Chris Olave. Olave looked outstanding. 9 receptions, 147 yards. We saw why he was a first-round pick. Alvin Kamara, nothing crazy. 15 carries, 61 yards. Mark Ingram had the touchdown, 5 carries, 18 yards. For Ingram, so once again, the run game somewhat quiet, at least I would say. Guys, go down, rate the Saints in Week 3. Scale it 1 to 100. Rate their performance in Week 3. I'd give it a -2. I was unimpressed with what I saw from the Saints today. Very disappointing performance. Go down to the comments section. Let me know what you think about everything. It's going to be a quick turnaround for this team. They got to go to London to face a very good Minnesota team here next week.